Hey guys, what's up and welcome to a new Tesla update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over Tesla, let's go over the market, let's talk about what is happening and what we can expect moving forward. So with all that being said and done, if you enjoy the video, don't forget to hit that like button, it does help a lot. This is not financial advice, I'm not a financial advisor. And of course, my membership section on YouTube is live. The link is down below for just $2.99 a month. You get access to all my posts, updates, thoughts, options flow, etc. on Tesla and sometimes other stocks as well. Every day the market is open live as you know the market is trading. So yeah, if you're interested in that, the link is down below in the description of the video. Definitely would love to have you aboard. But with all that being said and done, let's just get right into it. Tesla closing the day, unfortunately, in the red after a pretty wild day after we had the China numbers come out and of course CPI come out. But nonetheless, you know, in the red, down about only 0.15%, which isn't at least too bad. Closing out $177.50 per share, which, well, compared to the market, is obviously a pretty, significant underperformance. The market's skyrocketing today. SPY up another 1%, QQQ up another 1.5% essentially. So yeah, definitely a bit of an underperformance for Tesla today. Not the most ideal scenario in the world, but let's talk about it, right? So let's just discuss what happened. So first and foremost, let's preface this with two things, right? First of all, while I search for something here also to show you, we had CPI come out in the morning, came in slightly hotter than expected, actually. The markets seemed to react pretty positively pre-market. Then the market actually opened, the market's all tanked, and then everything skyrocketed, as you can see on Tesla's candle here on the daily, for instance, right? Pretty much tanked, made a new low, the recent low. It might even be a 52-week low, honestly, I'm not even sure. Anyway, we pretty much went down right down to the bottom of the channel once again, or I guess the top of the bottom channel, if you will. Bounced off of it almost to perfection, back above 175, and I called this out in my member section in the morning. I don't know where it is exactly. Somewhere around here. I think it was this one. I think it was this one here, where I talked about essentially how you want to see Tesla about a close here, not a close below 175 on the 1 hour. Right? You don't want to see a candle close below 175 on the 1 hour, and if we recapture it, it could be bullish, right? And that's exactly what we did. We had a massive fall, recaptured 175. I entered long here, and I sold almost at the top here at 170. I think I sold at 178, like 30 or something like that. And yeah, Tesla so far pretty much went sideways for the rest of the day. Now, obviously, like I said, CPI came in a little bit hotter than expected, but also we had, of course, the China numbers come in for Tesla, which I'm trying to find here, which were okay, to say the least. They weren't the best in the world, but yeah, the numbers were here. There's a chart that I can't find, but there was a chart that showed it even better. But anyway, about 13,000 new registered vehicles came in for Tesla, which I can't find. There's a chart that compared them. I don't know where it is, but whatever. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is the fact that this was the best of the year so far for the week, but it is actually down year over year compared to what we had this time last year. So, a little concerning there, right? I guess how you can say. Now, so, these factors combined, gave Tesla and really the market itself a pretty volatile movement for today. But all in all, let's talk about the weekly chart quickly first, right? The weekly chart, as you can see, well, once again, we came up, to, well, the high so far for the week, I guess, is all the way up to the channel that we did, in theory, break down over here, right? And, we're still finding rejection there. We're still having a little bit of issues there, right? If you go back to the daily, right? Beautiful wick at the bottom, but unfortunately, we gave up a lot of the gains towards, not a lot, but a fair amount of the gains towards the end of the day. We couldn't close with a potentially beautiful looking hammer candle. This could have been a beautiful looking hammer candle. I even have pictures of how it looked like right here. This is what it looked like 4 hours ago. This would have been probably one of the best, sexiest looking hammer candles I have ever seen in my entire life. Obviously, we couldn't hold on to it. And unfortunately, that, now it doesn't look as good anymore. It doesn't look as bullish, right? It's not the worst thing in the world because it still has a long wick at the bottom, but it's definitely not a hammer candle. It's more of a doji candle, which kind of just shows indecision here, right? It's really just saying that, well, the market has no idea where to put Tesla. So we're pretty much trading in a range similar to what we did up here, where we kind of traded back and forth up and down between, 198 and 205. Same thing here. We're pretty much trading between 180 and pretty much about 175. We went a little bit lower, but we never closed any candles, especially a 1 hour candle below. So I just pretty much still see it. 175 you buy, pretty much 180-ish you sell, or close to 180 you sell, and then you just rinse and repeat until one of these levels fall apart. Now, granted, on the 1 hour we have some nice bullish divergences as we're pretty much going sideways, if not downwards. We have RSI and the MACD slowly making their way upwards and, setting up some nice potential bullish divergences, which isn't too bad. We still have the bullish divergence on the daily, of course, right? Where we made a lower low on the daily chart, of course. But, the RSI and the MACD both are making higher lows, which is also a nice looking bullish divergence. So there is some, like I said, hope for bulls here. There is some potential, but like I said, there is still some bearishness here that, in my opinion, warrants some caution. For instance, like I said, the channel we broke down over here, right? This channel from all the way down here. We held it very well all of this back here until this massive fall that happened off of that bear flag. And now we're so far taking that channel and turning it from a support back here into a now resistance. That's concerning, right? We're concerning that we can't really break well above 180 and hold it, right? Every time we do, we just get smacked back down every single time because, well, as I zoom out, you can see here, the volume profile indicates, which is probably one of my favorite, like, I don't know, indicators, if you will, or whatever you want to call it, like trading indicators, showing insane volume that we have to now breach. And every time we come up here, this massive volume, which is now acting as a resistance, is, well, acting as resistance, is pushing us back down every time we come back into it, which isn't good, right? It acted as a support back here. Now it's acting as a resistance. So, that's not ideal. So there's definitely some things to be cautious about here, right? I'm not necessarily bullish or bearish here, to be completely honest. I'm bullish above 180. I guess you can say it's slightly bullish above 180 to 182, but I'll be a lot more bullish above like 190 roughly. And if we really start closing candles below 175, I'm bearish to pretty much the 160s. And if we break 160s and fall below, then I turn even more bearish. That's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. I'm just scalping Tesla. I'm just selling cash secured puts slowly, just collecting some premium while we do nothing, and really just waiting for this market and Tesla to really decide where the hell it really wants to go. But keep in mind, the trend is still down, right? We're below both of these red bands right here. You can see, right? Again, the trend is down, so technically it's not in the favor of the bulls here, but we are, like I said, approaching some massive support. Pretty much the top of this channel, which we bounced off of like 3 times right now, which isn't too bad, right? Pretty much in the low 170s, potentially to as low as the mid-ish 160s, which is the bottom part of this bottom channel, which is this bottom line that we bounced off of over here, for instance. So, we'll see how this overall plays out, right? But that's kind of the way I'm looking at it right now. And, the markets are rallying on hotter than expected CPI numbers, which is a little bit concerning as well. I've seen this picture play out many times. Usually when the market does this, it tends to make it a trap in whichever direction it's, moving, I guess, in this case, to the upside, right? It's rallying on hotter than expected CPI numbers. Pretty substantial rally too, right? 1.5% on QQQ is no joke. Not always, but often enough. It doesn't always end, in such a nice way. Let's just say that. So we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. But all in all, for Tesla, it really is just a patience game here. You really need to wait for levels to break. Now, there's a few things I want to talk about that's important. First and foremost, I want to talk about this, right? So Tucker Carlson, whatever, whether you love him, you hate him, or you're indifferent, doesn't matter. The point I'm trying to make here with this post that he's trying to make essentially is saying how, in my opinion, the biggest risk to Tesla right now, fundamentally-ish, is honestly Elon. And the reason I say it's Elon is because, not because of, Elon and he's just useless, or no, he's obviously not. But it's the fact that he's very, very, very deep into politics right now. He's like, almost arguably uncomfortably deep, even for myself. I'm a huge bull on Tesla. I'm a huge Elon. I have like literally a poster of him right here. I have Tesla posters everywhere. I obviously own a Tesla myself. I'm a huge bull and supporter of Elon. But I'm not going to lie, even for someone like myself, it's been a little bit uncomfortable with how deep he's going into politics. That's an evil world, man. That is not a world that, people treat others nicely, I guess you can say. Normally, it wouldn't be as bad, but the fact that we're in an election year, there could be some pretty substantial things happening. For instance, this post right here, in a classified briefing this afternoon, attended by officials from the Biden Justice Department, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You guys know who she is, right? We all know who she is. I can't pronounce her name, Ocasio-Cortez. Anyway, claimed that Elon committed election interference in 2022 by changing the algorithms on X to alter the results of the midterm elections that year. Not coincidentally, whatever, this is TikTok stuff. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make here is that you're going to be seeing a lot of things like this. You're going to be seeing a lot of like potentially very negative, like even more so than we've seen so far towards Elon, and potentially even like straight up ways to just limit, if not reduce, his power. Kind of like what Gally over here says. Biggest risk to Tesla right now is the US government does witch hunt against Elon Musk and figures out how to remove him from the CEO role and take more of his rightfully owned equity in Tesla. Maybe not necessarily to that level, but something like that. Like that wouldn't shock me. And unfortunately, it affects Tesla. Elon is just the face of Tesla. Whether you like it or not, if something happens to Elon, good or bad, really, it's gonna affect Tesla. It's just the way it is. It's kind of what you sign up for with the stock, and that's that has me a little bit worried, right, for how this year is gonna progress with the elections and how much worse it may potentially even get as we continue throughout this year and as the elections essentially get more and more heated and we get closer and closer to the literal elections themselves. I believe in October or November, something like that of this year. I'm just saying. So that's definitely kind of a more fundamental reason to be careful, I guess I'll just say, around TSLA, because it will affect the stock. That's just how it is. That's just how it works, right? Whether you like it or not, it's kind of what you sign up for. It is what it is. So we'll see how that plays out. But, that is something that is, you know, in the back of my mind that I'm thinking about without, you know, going, that's, you know, a little concerning. I'm not gonna lie, but we'll see. Of course, you know, we'll take it level by level, day by day, week by week, right? As per usual. And the last thing I want to talk about is options flow, of course, on Tesla. There is some options flow did come in, but NVIDIA is just NVIDIA. Someone put 2 million calls on NVIDIA 2 minutes before the market closed for this Friday for 925 above the ask. 2 million calls on NVIDIA. 2 million. That stock is pretty much what Tesla was way back here when it pumped, right? Remember when Tesla did this? This is NVIDIA now. Truly something else, while Tesla is just kind of forgotten, it feels like. Unbelievable. Anyway, moving over to Tesla, this is weekly expirations, right? Sweeps and weekly expirations, obviously for this Friday. Also before the market, well, more like an hour before the market closed, you know, we had a bunch of sweeps come in, right? Including one that's 350K for this Friday, 180 call. But unfortunately, they're probably underwater right now because Tesla did give up, you know, some gains towards the end of the day, right? In the last 20 or so minutes. So we'll see how that plays out. Let's go ahead and unfilter this quickly. Let's go ahead and, you know, reset this, go back to Tesla. Let's set this back to 100K and look at the premiums there. And kind of all over the place for the most part, right? Towards the end of the day, we did get some sweeps coming in as well, but just obviously a couple months out. So, you know, some bearishness did come in, though. It's obviously a little bit safer, a little bit farther out. So we'll see how this plays out. But there were some very short-term calls that came in about an hour before the market closed. So far, they seem to be incorrect unless they know something and maybe some news comes out, or I don't know, tonight or who knows. But bears are definitely coming in for longer term dated puts. The bulls are looking for short-term gains, like literally this week, if not next week. The bears are starting to scale in from what I'm noticing to a couple months out in puts. So they're looking like Tesla's not done yet falling, right? Tesla's going to fall some more, maybe just not right this very moment, but they expect it to fall within the next, you know, month or so. So we'll see. But that's kind of what I'm seeing mainly in the options flow. But all in all, that's kind of what I see in Tesla overall right now as well, ladies and gentlemen. The main worry, in my opinion, again, like I said, more of a fundamental, potentially longer term thing is, you know, risk with Elon and politics and the election. You know, it's a little concerning, I'm not going to lie. But the chart itself also is not the most bullish looking chart. We are near support, but like I said, we're breaking below some pretty substantial levels. We have some substantial resistance above us, and we're now turning 180 into resistance, which isn't good. That's not what you want to be seeing. So that needs to get broken if you're a bull. But yeah, that's kind of what I see right now. So let me know what you think down below, ladies and gentlemen. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. And as per usual, I'll see you for the next one. Peace.